meant they could fly all the way to Warsaw and back if they needed to.
Quite often you hear what's known as the Mustang scream, that sort of whistling noise, which is the air flowing over the gun ports. So imagine blowing over the top of a beer bottle, and you get that whistling noise. Same effect when you hear that Mustang scream. And another pub fact for you: some of the R2-D2 sound effects in Star Wars were actually the Mustang scream.
Method, motivation, and morale. They had a great plane. They knew what they were doing. Motivation was good. They understood the mission. Morale was extremely high because they were all incredibly good at what they did. And Don Blakesley as a fighter commander was just superb. Tough, no nonsense, hard drinking, square jawed, good looking, and kind of fostered a really strong sense of high morale, self-confidence, but not complacency. There was no question that these guys knew that flying fighter planes was a hard job, a difficult job, dangerous job, but there was confidence in their ability and a desire to constantly get better. And the P-51, they had a plane that enabled them to do all that. Wide undercarriage, easier to land than a lot, robust, highly manoeuvrable, fast, and incredible endurance.
Was there ever a plan to get it navalised?
I don't think so. You know, the naval planes were doing very nicely, thank you, without having to convert non-naval planes. And this is an absolutely lovely display, isn't it? Really putting it through its paces.
I know for a fact he's having a lot of fun up there. Beautiful, amazing airplane to be in the controls of. The sky to himself.
How could you not? You know, and I just can't stress enough, but by the sort of second half of 1943, you've got the bomber crews absolutely struggling, being decimated, odds stacked against you getting through your 25 missions in a bomber. The contrast with the fighter groups could not have been greater. They had good planes, even before the P-51 came on, nothing wrong with the P-47 as we saw earlier on. And they were given the proper training. And of course, over in the United States, you can train very quickly, which means you can process more people. The intensity of training is better, so it's not spread out. No problems with then make the transition from trainee pilot to combat-worthy fighter pilot, and there's a difference. It's a bit like driving a car. After a while, you don't think about switching the indicator or slipping it into what gear or whatever. You just do it. It's sort of muscle memory. It's on automatic. Massively enhanced the chances of the Allies to make a successful toehold, then bridgehead, then ultimately victory in Normandy. And I cannot stress enough the importance that the P-51 played in achieving that. Its ability to escort heavy bombers far and deep into the Reich so that they could hammer those Luftwaffe aircraft factories in Regensburg, in Wiener Neustadt, in Austria, made all the difference. Well, a
thoroughly graceful, enjoyable display from Mark Levy. Please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Mark Levy in P-51 Jersey Jerk, and I hope you all very much appreciate it. He's actually been flying for a number of years. He got his PPL when he was 17, and at one time was the youngest pilot in the UK back in 1999. He's got his own Pitt S1 biplane and also a Cassett Racer racing aircraft, and he does hope after displaying the Tiger Moth that he'll move on to displaying both of those types. He works here at Sywell for Air Leasing and Richard Grace, and he gets his hands on this Tiger Moth as an instructor for the Thomas Castle Aviation Heritage Scholarship, which I'll talk more about very shortly. But you mustn't underestimate what this means to Danny for his first public display. The route to becoming a display pilot is not an easy one. You need to have a lot of experience, and then you'd have to be assessed by that you are fit to be a display pilot, and then if they're happy they will award you that permission to display, and that's what he gained this week. So it starts at very slow stages, small stages, so you might not have the approval to do any complex aerobatics that you've seen.